Hey, thanks for joining Uncle Mike for this edition of the Dow Directions, a technical analysis of the Dow. Well, we have a weekly chart here. It's the weekend. We look at longer time frames, and you can see that's the trend line I had in for the daily, which did correspond nicely with the weekly. And this is the first week that we closed above that trend line. The other positive is we closed above our T8. It's still downtrending, but we are closing above. The 20 period EMA is at 81.38 now, and you can see that's leveling off. So that's a good sign. We do need to hold first off the 20, then the 50 on a weekly basis, and that will be a positive technical sign that a short-term bottom has been put in. And then there's our 200 period moving average at 10,981 on a weekly basis. Okay, looking at our analysis, let's look at the trend line analysis on a shorter term. The most recently confirmed down trend line for the Dow has an ending point of 11,677. So expect prices to have trouble getting through that area. Now I know that's a long ways away, but keep that in mind at this point. On a longer term basis for a trend line, the most recently confirmed uptrend line for the Dow had an ending point at 74.51, and we are above that. So with that, we need to hold that area, and if we do hold that area, it will be a positive sign. Now let's take a look at our Chande chart checkup on a weekly basis. We have to still say downwards. Overall price bias is downwards on a weekly basis. We were encouraged yesterday on a daily basis. We could finally say upwards. But for the week, it is downwards. Short-term prices are moving, and intermediate-term prices are trending. The projected upper bound is 9,043, with a lower bound projection of 6327. And now our Rex Takasugi TD profile. For the week, the Dow closed up 497 points. Volume was 73% above average, and the Bollinger Bands are 7% wider than normal. For the technical outlook, the short term is neutral, whereas intermediate term and long term are bearish. The Dow is currently 32.2% below its 200 period moving average, which is in a downward trend on a weekly basis. Volatility is extremely low when compared to the average volatility over the last 10 periods. The volume indicators reflect volume flowing into and out of the Dow at a relatively equal pace. Our trend forecasting oscillators are currently bearish, and they've had this outlook for the last 70 periods. But the momentum oscillators set a new 14-period high, while the security has not, and this is a bullish divergence pattern. So that's it for the weekly. You can see that we need to, on a weekly basis, would be nice to get back at the 8500 level. Hold this. I know I'm asking for a lot. First we need to get to this area, which there'll be resistance. More than likely 82, 81, there'll be some resistance right here. If we can get above that and hold it, we will be holding the 20 period EMA, and that will set the stage for increasing prices in the future, and that a bottom has been put in. Well, thanks for joining Uncle Mike for this edition of the Dow Directions, and I'll see you back on Monday with a daily edition.